Dad, why do you put so much emphasis on Romans 4:5? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt, and this is Talks with Dad Rod, and this is so much fun. Dad wants, let me read this. You want to read it?
No, you go.
No. You read it. I love that.
Okay.
You go look that up. At one point, I was going to, but you doing it is even better. It's better your voice than mine, always. This is something that you focused on in another presentation. We've got it buried somewhere, and we're going to be. Hopefully, we'll be bringing it out sooner than later. That you did called the gospel in one verse, and this has been your favorite verse for some time. There was another verse that I'd had back in the day that I enjoyed, and you said this is my favorite verse, and so that changed my position mostly because it fought my inner old Adam so strongly. So why don't you go ahead? Romans 4:5.
But to the one who does not work, but believes in him who justifies the ungodly, the wicked, his faith is reckoned as if righteousness.
That's an older translation, the way you're reading that.
New American Standard.
That's an older one. They've reformed, they've changed that version a number of times. As if. You taught me early on, because the language I had when I was learning was, though it was, and you said, not quite. It's as if. Mm-hmm. It's always as if.
Yeah.
Now, the offensive part to this passage, as though it needs to be called out, is to the one that does not work.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's a juxtaposition of two ways of salvation. The one we immediately embrace, where we're a part of the positive, and that's gone in the first few words here.
But that can't be right. Do you understand? I think the case could be made that this is probably the most offensive verse of Scripture.
Could be.
Because it says, to he who lies on the couch and doesn't do squat.
Yep. And
toward his salvation.
Right. And the ones who are the recipients of his good work, he calls the wicked. And
that is very unfair.
Yeah.
How do the wicked get rescued?
Right.
When it's stating the very thing about their nature that so obviously is part of the wicked nature. They're just lying there, they're being sluggards.
Yep. The key biblical word here, I think of immediately, is imputation. Our Adam's sin is imputed to us, and then Christ's righteousness is imputed to the believer. Reckoned as if it's Abraham. That's key in the Abraham story.
Let me ask this. Based on our sense of fairness, wouldn't it make more sense that the God of the universe would take pleasure in doing something like in The Simpsons? And taking those who were
qualified?
No, taking those who are obviously so openly wicked and naughty and going, you are so banished.
Yeah, that would be the norm. Yeah,
how can we worship a God? How can God be the kind that says, you are disobeying me in thought, word, and deed, rat?
Yeah.
And I am now going to die for you and rescue you.
That's the message.
How does that make any sense? How can I as a sinner be content with that? Because look at the wretches then would be included. Should I even be happy to be included in such a club?
I think so.
That's rhetorical. I'm very offended at that idea.
Yep. The gospel is offensive. This one just puts a point to it. That's why I'm drawn to this.
But okay.
In fact, I'll go even further. That's why Christianity is not really a religion.
Okay, but isn't there something in there in James about he who does not work or something? I mean, Scripture has these parts in it that says those who don't work. And it just seems awfully condemning. And yet at the same time here, we get this part that says, he who does not work.
Uh-huh.
How do you reconcile the working and the not working?
That's why the gospel is a mystery to those who have not spent time trying to crack it. It's around self and gifted anyway. The qualification is that you're a failure toward God. And you say, qualification? That's weird. Or the aphorism, or somebody says, the gospel is for sinners and you qualify.
You mean the gospel's not just for the... Okay, I'll drop that one. I speak of the sense of fairness because we fallen human beings tend to perceive things that way. I don't like the idea that thief will be in paradise with me because he's a rat, and I don't feel that as bad as he is. Isn't that our sinner's experience?
Yes.
I am better than that person.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Through and through.
I'm not saying I'm perfect,
Yep.
But how can it be that God lets that scumbag in here with me? I am better than that.
And somehow the justice of God is that he justifies the wicked. How in the world can that be and he be just? Book of Romans is about this. It's an introduction to Christianity, theme by theme by theme by theme. That's worth doing, by the way. I put that out one time. Romans 1. The sinner is without hope. 2, Jews are also sinners. They're without hope. 3, the whole world is without hope. 4, the introduction of Abraham and justification by faith alone. 5, and so forth. That's worth doing with each chapter of Romans.
I still like 7.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a worthwhile thing to do. Not a long thing. Just the sort of thing that you find in a good Bible where the headings are accurate.
I have actually I've actually had it said to me that Christians shouldn't even read Romans.
Oh.
That's how, Dad, do you understand that's how offensive it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to take away that is the thing that is offensive.
Yeah.
We don't even want to consider it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You guys know this. We're dealing with this condition where I need Christianity to be my way.
Yes.
I need it to be the way I am comfortable with.
Yes. Yeah.
But what does the text say, says the Lutheran? And I know some others who are not Lutheran would say, well, we say that too. The problem is we always turn the screws on the sacraments, right? So you come to the Lord's Supper and you come to baptism and we get into that and we say, what does it say? And we find where the divides go. But the Lutheran position isn't one of comfort. It's one of mystery.
Certain key junctures, yes.
And, well, also in who God is, how God is with us. How can a God be okay with me at that level? How can a God like that, how could a God be okay with that guy over there?
Right.
Who's upsetting me so much?
Right. Yeah.
That scumbag who's doing A, B, and C that is just demonstrably horrible.
You know, one of the ironic parts of Western Civ? Lawyers. All they deal with all week long, 7 days a week, is what we call real righteousness or what we see. And yet, they're trained in what evidence is. And an amazing percentage of those guys, those women, become Christians.
Why?
I think it's because they're used to dealing with evidence for a position. And the New Testament is packed with it.
And courtroom evidence isn't scientific absolutes.
No.
It's human beings.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's probabilities. But it's always been sort of noteworthy to me the number of lawyers in the West who consider texts, and in considering the New Testament as a text, are drawn to its truth. And that amazes me. As a group, I hold the same view of lawyers that everybody.
Now, in the gospel for those broken by the church, you said there might even be a few lawyers in heaven, though I doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love our lawyer friends. We love our lawyer friends, but we got to throw a few smacks out.
Yeah.
We can't let that one go.
Yeah.
Even is the gospel so great, even a lawyer could be saved?
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Or, I mean, now at least in Scripture understood the most offensive people on the face of the earth. Can a tax man be saved?
And one was in the New Testament.
And ironically, he's become my favorite. I didn't see that one coming. I want to meet Matthew. I cannot wait to meet Matthew. My favorite rat of all of Scripture.
Yep.
It's so offensive to us.
Yeah.
This is such a struggle for us because it comes back to, and you mentioned this a couple episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, the parable of the workers in the vineyard.
Uh-huh.
And those who show up late and those who showed up early and those who showed up midday, and they all get the same pay at the end. And the owner of the vineyard says, is this not all mine to do with as I please?
Mm-hmm.
And the workers, some workers say that's not fair.
Sure.
Isn't that the core of the problem?
Sure.
Isn't that what we're seeing?
I sometimes wonder how businessmen, if that's the text for the day, how businessmen hear it. Because it's crazy. You don't pay somebody who showed up at 3 and pay them full days work wages at 5.
On a ledger, it makes 0 sense.
Yep.
And at the same time, Jesus teaches from the ledger and off the ledger.
Yeah.
He holds the ledger out in front and basically shows us what ought, how it normally works.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking about something that makes no sense on the ledger. And you can tell the guys who are listening, you're like, whoa. How does that
make any sense? Yeah.
But man, we have a deep, deep cellular sense of fair.
Yep.
Some part of us in there rages that I have to be in there with a rat like that.
Yep.
Not that we would turn it around and say, if he is saved, thank God, because now I know I'm safe.
Yeah.
If a scumbag like that is safe, I must be safe. We don't do that.
Nope. But it's worth thinking about because Scripture is filled with things like this. And specifically on whom God justifies.
The wicked.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm the wicked.
Yeah.
God justifies the wicked Ted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the wicked Rod.
Yep.
And the wicked Rick.
Yep.
Hey.
All right. We'll go ahead and wrap this one up. So I hope you're having fun with us, and I hope this is right at the point. Come to us, come join us at 1517.org, and we will see you on social media. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.